One of the most favorite periods of music for brass players is around the turn of the century, when there are famous brass bands that traveled all over the world, and especially, I think, here in the United States. With these bands were famous soloists, especially cornet soloists. They developed in those days such a high degree of technical virtuosity that we're pretty sure they could never be equaled again. Until about a year ago, we got a call from Ronnie's mother. And it seems that a Carnival of Venice was one of her favorite pieces of music, and she had Ronnie practicing this piece of music 2 hours every day from the time he was 12 years old. So, naturally enough, last year when he finally learned it, she called. And we're glad she did, because it really gives Ronnie a chance to show off this incredible, marvelous technique that he's developed through the years. This is a Carnival of Venice.
We would like to play Handful of Keys by Fats Waller. Now, this was Fats Waller's own showpiece, and we're going to perform it tonight as a showpiece for this very small, what is known as a piccolo trumpet. Now, Freddie will be performing on this piccolo trumpet, but as you soon will see, this is a very dangerous instrument on which Fred to perform on, because you'll notice that as he's performing, a lot of pressure builds up inside of Fred's head. Now, the reason for that is because it's so incredibly small. The trumpet, he says. Now, with all this pressure building and building inside of Fred's head, he could very well blow the hair right off the top of his head. Now, in case you think it's not a possibility, I should hasten to mention that about a week ago, Ronnie played this solo.
1, 2, let's go.
Giovanni Gabrieli was the very first composer to ever write specifically for brass instruments. Now, the brass players of his days made their living by playing outside, in streets, in barges, sometimes in towers. So when he brought the musicians into the church, he had a little trouble with the other players that were already there. Matter of fact, they refused to play in the same area, so Gabrieli had to place them on different parts of the church, on the sides or in the balconies, on the sides, or never right in the center of the congregation. That's just... Well, nevertheless, just imagine that you are back in the 16th century, maybe in St. Mark's Cathedral in Venice, well, sitting next to a tuba player.
would like at this time to perform Johann Sebastian Bach's most famous composition, which tonight will be the Fugue in G minor, also known as the Little Fugue in G minor. We assume naturally enough that little was in this title to distinguish this work from some much larger work also in G minor, also by Bach, which it does do. It distinguishes it from a large fugue called the Great Fugue in G minor. Not to suggest that this isn't a great fugue also. I mean, this fugue in G minor perhaps should be called the Great Little Fugue by Bach. Now, this will begin with Ron. Ron will be the first to play the G minor melody that goes with this composition. It makes sense he should start with this piece. After Ron begins, Fred will be the first to perform the imitation, or in fact the second to perform. So you have Ronnie beginning, with Fred coming in second, playing that same melody, so that Gene's second imitation or third entry will match now not only Ronnie, who has started, but of course Fred. Fred now comes not only after Ron, but of course before Gene. And Marty's fourth entry will be the third imitation following Gene, who had of course followed Fred and Ron. Ron having started Fred, Gene. But this is the moment in the piece when the entire rest of the group comes in with that same melody. Me, of course. Leading up to one of the finest endings of any of Bach's music, bar none. Thank you. The five of us have spent collectively over 50 years in the pits playing the music of and for the ballet. And we truly fell in love with this music, particularly that from the Romantic era of ballet, the late 1800s and early 1900s. And we wanted to present this music in a forum such as this tonight, but in rehearsing the music, we felt something was missing from our performance, something visual, something je ne sais quoi. Canada is supposed to be bilingual, by the way, and I wanted to say something tonight in bilingual. So that was it. Now, in attempting to add the visual element to our performance, we also quickly discovered that we had a basic problem, because not one of us has ever actually seen a ballet. You can imagine sitting in an orchestral pit, as we did, with our backs to the wall, in fact, almost under the stage. We could hear feet moving about the stage, but we didn't have a clue what was taking place, none whatsoever. So we did the only thing possible. We telephoned a friend of ours from the Corps de Ballet, and we asked her what takes place. So she suggested we play some of the music for her over the telephone, which we did. And then she said, well, at that moment when the music is playing there, everybody on stage is doing this motion, and we played a little more for her over the phone, and she said, well, at that moment everybody is doing this. And well, from her very lucid descriptions, we have reconstructed the original choreography. Now, in so doing, we feel we're serving a very useful social function. Because if you had to go out to see each one of these ballets separately, you could easily spend many years of needless effort. So to save you all of that time, we'd like to present our tribute to the ballet.
Now what do I do? Excuse me. Boy, if my mother sees this show, I'm dead, you know. Since we reside in a traditionally Commonwealth country, we've had several opportunities to play for the Queen of England. And of course, when you do play for the Queen, that's called a command performance. I'm not sure whether everyone is aware of all the implications of a command performance, but there's a big difference. For a command performance, you don't get paid. We found that out afterwards, but nevertheless, the second time that we were invited to perform for the Queen, we wanted to do two pieces of music, one of her favorite pieces and of course then one of ours. And it turns out that one of her favorite pieces of music is the Handel's Hallelujah Chorus from the Messiah. Exactly. And one of ours is When the Saints Go Marching In. And as it turned out, we didn't have time to play both of them, so we asked Luther Henderson in New York if he couldn't help us out, and he thought they would just fit perfectly together. So this is his version of the Saints' Hallelujah.
There seems to be something missing. Now, the piccolo trumpet has been featured, a handful of keys, and Gene just had a fantastic solo in the Saints. Ronnie's been featured. Marty, every time he picks up his French horn, it's a solo. I feel perhaps that we are lacking one composition. So we would like to play the tuba tiger rag.
I was a soloist before.
Tilt
it down. So all of Chuck's life, he's really had one big desire, and that's to be a rock and roll star. Now that has really been tough, considering, of course, that he plays the tuba. But he has a friend in New York who's really trying to help him out, because he's written him an incredible piece of music to perform. Actually, he's written it for all of us. What can I say about it? Well, you know, we got the idea actually from all of the music shows, you know, all the music videos, and there's so much action and so much exciting things. So we hired some synthesizer players, and we have them here tonight. And well, matter of fact, it's really just a rock tune. Maybe you can help us out. If we could change the atmosphere a little bit and make it feel like almost a rock concert, Chuck would be so happy. This is his version of Boy Mozart. So let's really give him a really good time. Come on, huh? Let's hear it. There you go.